In this world where magic reigns supreme, there was someone who chose a different path, perfecting swordsmanship that everyone else looked down upon. Seeing this person's unreal reaction speed and terrifying strength that far surpassed his own, John began to regret his past actions. Because the protagonist usually never showed his true ability, he was known as the worst student in the Magic Academy. Although he possessed extensive knowledge, he couldn't even cast the most basic fire spell. This instantly drew laughter from his classmates. John went even further, using a fire spell himself, to complete the simplest lesson on the protagonist's behalf. The teacher, instead of criticizing John, used the protagonist as an example to lecture the entire class. As you can see, the teacher said, "In this world, magic is absolute, magic is authority, mana is power, and a mage is a hero." Turning to the protagonist, the teacher continued, "Someone who only has knowledge but cannot wield magic is simply unfit for this academy, which nurtures true talents." Class ended soon after, and the protagonist sighed. He had long grown accustomed to the teacher's insults, yet even during break, people found ways to pick on him. John, who couldn't stand having a magic-less weakling at the same school, suggested that the protagonist drop out sooner rather than later. Just then, a girl named Kret rushed over. Unable to watch the protagonist being bullied any longer, John didn't want to argue with her. After all, he had plenty of time to humiliate the protagonist later. With that, the three of them left the area. The protagonist gazed at the distant sky, remarking how beautiful the day was. The girl agreed. In the center of the world stood a colossal pillar, said to have been created by one of the Supreme Five Wands, the greatest mage in all existence. Legend had it that in ages past, when the world was threatened by invaders from the skies, it was 5 mages who rose up to drive them away, sealing off the entire sky to ensure the safety of those below. At some point, tales of the Supreme Five Wands spread far and wide. Even now, every mage yearns to attain that title. The protagonist's childhood friend had inherited the name of one of the 5 wands, the Wand of Ice. Since they were young, both had agreed that they would one day become one of the Supreme Five Wands. The protagonist desperately wanted to fulfill that promise, but he had no magical talent whatsoever. His childhood friend, on the other hand, had extraordinary magic abilities, and became the youngest ever to earn the Supreme Wand title. Yet the protagonist never gave up. Even without magic, whenever he had free time, he ventured into dungeons to hunt monsters, constantly striving to increase his strength.